Good morning, everybody. Everybody say good morning to online people.
Good morning.
Awesome. Thank you all for showing up for the first team meeting of the year. It's been a minute. Real quick, if you're on Zoom and you're able to pay attention, you're clothed, please turn on those cameras so we can see your smiling faces. For those of you who are in the room, who raise your hand if this is your first team meeting? Roberto, I know it's yours. Would you mind just announcing who you are and how you heard about the team meeting and a little bit about yourself?
My name is Jonathan Santos, and I was invited by Rose here to the first meeting.
Awesome. This is Jonathan. Roberto?
My name is Roberto de la Fuente. First meeting here, I got invited by Johnny.
And Josephine.
Is she on there? No, she wouldn't be. But I'm really grateful to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for coming, Roberto. All right. For those of you who are online, is there anybody, this is your first time joining the team meeting online? Go ahead, Mario. Go ahead, introduce yourself to the crowd.
Sure. I was invited by Brent Gove. I'm actually a business broker here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I just joined EXP Commercial about 2.5 months ago.
Awesome. Congratulations. All right. Well, hey, every team meeting, we like to kick it off, if possible, if time permits, with tell me something good. So tell me something good that happened since our last meeting. It could be closings, new leads, anything business related. If your kid scored the winning touchdown in a football game, I do not care. But tell me something business related. Manu?
Sam has first deal in escrow.
Boom.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sam.
The Blue got 5 commercial leads.
You got 5
commercial leads.
How'd you get those?
People just called me. I don't know why.
Referral sphere?
So I'm
Interesting.
like, yeah, sure. It's like, do you know everyone in my doctor's office if you can help us? I'm like, sure. Why not?
That's awesome. Well, thank you. Good news from Manu. Who else has something they want to share? Alicia.
Me and Rose were doing a deal, and we got docs 10 days early, and it was a very short escrow. So we're way ahead. There's some stuff we're working through with the deck, but isn't this your first deal?
Yay! How'd you get your first deal? Where'd the lead come from?
Open house.
Open house. There you go. So open houses, they do work still.
Yep.
All right, let's get one more. We try to do 3. Well, so that was 2.5. So let's do one more. Who's got some? There's always something good.
I got on my real estate P-card licensing stuff set up since last year. Last year I just got my license, had to do that set up, but now it's all set up.
You ready to rock and roll? Congratulations. What's your name really quick? What's your name? Michael, nice to meet you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, is there anything, I didn't see anybody online. I apologize. I was paying attention. Was there one online? Harjote, am I saying that right? Got their first listing agreement. All right, congratulations, Harjote. Everybody, round of applause. Boom. All right, now it moves into the probably what is the most important part of today's meeting or every meeting, and it's the lender update. Alicia, what's happening in the wonderful world of lending?
So one thing I realized that not everybody knows, and I think it's super, super important for your veterans, is there's a form that we can use called an NPMA-33. Has anyone heard of that yet? All the time, with 1-2 people, right? So what this is instead of submitting the actual pest inspection to the bank, where we get the chance to pick it apart and require all these things to be fixed, if the pest inspector fills out this specific form and it fits certain criteria, mainly they're hoping there's no termites, and then I can't remember this one phrase, but it was moisture. They don't want to see obvious moisture, right? But if they can't see obvious moisture and there isn't obvious termites, if they fill out this form, it's instead of providing the bank with the termite inspection. So now we're not going to call all these things, right? So it's called, I'm going to post it to our Brent Gove site, but it's called an MPMA-33. So if you're going to write an offer and you're like, hey, we're going to get this form instead, the listing side should feel way more comfortable about, not having something come up. So I will post the information on the site so you guys can do it a little bit further, but it's a way to help your VA buyers be similar to a conventional and not have to have all these things called. So I just wanted to share that.
Correct. And that's absolutely fire. I know you have a question.
Yeah, does that work with Calvet?
So I don't do Calvet, so I actually don't know that answer. From my experience, we only can do VAs. Yeah, so that's a good question.
So I've known, I think Josephine has used this at least once, and we tried
Yes.
using it another time. This only works if the lender hasn't seen the inspection report, right?
Yeah.
So if you're representing the buyer, don't make sure you ask for the specific report from, we use North American. You ask them, you call them, they will send the specific report out, right? And then you send that to the lender. That's what the lender needs to see specifically for VA.
Yes.
Right.
You're referring to the pest inspection report.
Correct.
I thought you had home inspection first. I was like, oh, dear God, I never send up my home inspection.
No.
Catching up with you now, got it. I
Yeah,
was like,
no, you're reading my wall. You're picking up what I'm laying down. Yeah, so just the pest inspection. But if they get the pest inspection report, excuse me, the pest inspection report first, then you can't use this form, right? They have to get this form, the NP alphabet soup one first.
Yeah, I'll post it on there. I like that.
Alphabet soup, yeah, it's a silly form. Awesome, thank you, Alicia. Anything else?
Yeah, real quick, I just want to share with you guys, yes, rates are up a little bit, but why this is beneficial and what I keep telling my buyers, why this is beneficial for you is it gets rid of some of the competition and makes less competition against you, number one. Number two, my amazing agents, Jen, Rose, even brand new agents are getting me closing cost credits like crazy right now. I'm sure many of you are thinking, how the heck is that happening in such a competitive market? It is happening in Austin. So don't be scared if your buyers tell you, hey, I'm really discouraged, the payment went up, but now I can't afford it. Don't let that stop you, Mr. Buyer. Here's the thing, I have lenders who can help buy that rate down, and if I can get you a small closing cost credit, your payment's the exact same as it was before rates changed. Does that make sense to you guys, what I just said? So just because rates went up, great news, Mr. Buyer, your competition disappeared, less buyers, let's get back out there. I'll get you a small closing cost credit and we'll keep your rate the same, and we're back in the game. Does that make sense?
100%.
Perfect. I just wanted
Awesome.
to share that.
Thank you. Those are two fire things. Let's talk about the real estate market. So what are agents, raise your hands if you have something that you want to contribute about what you're seeing in the real estate market right now. Like Alicia mentioned, you're seeing closing costs.
I saw something interesting actually. So I was taking a client out and I have never actually shown an open door listing. 3 of the 6 homes I showed were all open door. I was like, what on earth? And then Open Door actually did not want to. They told me, and I think this is based on what home and where they're at with it, but there was no scenario where they wanted to do any kind of seller concession. But they kept negotiating down on the price. I was like, okay, but I just was, if you get clear on what they want, and then you can kind of sit there and go, okay, so you won't negotiate this, but you'll negotiate not. So we still got it down. I think the clients asked go for I don't know, 15, 20,000 below what supposedly Open Door paid for it. And then Zillow, of course, still has all these homes sitting in the market, but I've heard that they're willing to negotiate a lot more too, because they shut their program down. So now they just want it off their books.
Yeah. So on average, I think Zillow is expecting to take a 5 to 7% loss on all their
Yeah.
properties. That's just kind of what they're expecting, because they kind of know they're over the barrel on those. So keep that in mind if you come up on a Zillow house. Something that I've noticed in the market is it is cooling down, right? It's not like April 2021 or March of 2021. It is cooling down. So you can get closing cost credits. If your buyers are discouraged, get them back out there. If they have the bad taste in their mouth, maybe 7 months ago, get them back out there, because their offers will get accepted or are more likely to get accepted. And inventory is starting to creep up. Typically happens this time of year, but and it's still incredibly tight depending for the time of year that we're in, but it is starting to creep up. So when you're talking to sellers, let them know, hey, inventory is creeping up. That means more competition for you. Flip side of that coin is, hey, buyers, inventory is creeping up. It means you have more options, less competition. So you can get both people to move using those techniques. Good stuff? All right. So with that, here, I'm going to share a little tech tip. This will probably make you zero money, but it's fun. Let me see the chat box. First, Luis, little birdie from Big Block Realty, Zillow main account in
Yes.
Sacramento, told me you can offer as low as 3 to 4% on a price. where Zillow won't auto deny the offer, right? So if you go below that, Luis, Luis, you can come off mute too if you're in a place where you can talk. Can you?
I'm friends with the broker too.
Denise?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, explain
Can
what
you
you
hear
were,
me, Johnny?
yeah, I can hear you. What were you saying on the chat box?
Yeah, so I have two friends that work over at Big Block Realty, and they're Zillow's main account here in Sacramento. I guess Sacramento was like the experimental market for the whole iBuyer program.
Yep.
And recently, with all of the updates and changes, two of their agents told me personally that you can basically offer up to 3 to 4% where they won't auto deny it, aka where they damn near will consider like accepting it if they have no other offers above your offer price.
Dude, that's awesome.
So you
Thanks
should
for
definitely
sharing
be
that.
targeting Zillow leads. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
No, super good. So,
but just remember to be careful though, if you have an FHA buyer, to pay attention, because there's the 90-day flip rule. So if you are gonna have a buyer and take them, because maybe you can get them a better deal on a Zillow home right now, just pay attention. You can't do FHA if it's less than 90 days from when the last sale happened. So just Zillow put them on really fast, so pay attention to that aspect. It's my only
that's a really good
advice.
point. Really good point. Yeah, so here, let me share my screen. Hopefully there's nothing embarrassing. I'm always worried when I do this. Okay, I will have to show you something embarrassing. So here is a little way. So have you ever been like on Instagram and you look up stuff, like gifts, like stickers and stuff that you want to add, and you see real estate agents, they show up on the side? Raise your hand if you've ever seen that. Like you've ever, like you've seen that. Okay. So here's how you do it. It costs a whole lot of money, AKA it's free. And what you do is you go to Giphy.com and you can create your own. So you can upload ones, you can create it. I won't go into detail on this because again, I don't know how much money this is going to make you, but it's kind of fun if you like doing social media stuff. And if you create a free account, I created one last night, and you got to get verified. So you have to have 5 gifts that you've uploaded on this account. But if you create 5 with transparent background, you get verified. And then all of a sudden your gifts will start showing up on Instagram and on Giphy.com. So if you want to text somebody a gift and you search like made for more, my team will now be able to send out gifts specific to us. You type in made for more on Instagram, the gifts are going to start popping up for them. So you can do that for your own team, for EXP, for you doing fun things like just sold or anything like that. It's and it's free. So let me see. So you can, I'm going to show you some examples of like ones that we've done. So I have my Giphy channel. You can search made for more, so like sold, coming soon.
I love that.
Right. I like Star Trek. Chuck Norris approves. Right. So you can just create your own things, right? Free. All it takes is your time, which is probably your most precious commodity. So I burned 12 hours doing this yesterday.
12 hours?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm a binger. I'm a binger. Yeah. Well, it took me, once I figured it out, because again, YouTube University is a thing, but once I figured it out, you can create one in about 10 minutes. But took some treading water to get there. Oh, before I forget.
Like, where's Johnny's how to do video?
Yeah, no,
No.
it'll be, yeah, nobody has time for that. Yeah, exactly. But on the YouTube page. Before I forget, top producer panel, this is next week. This is something that you're not going to want to miss. So it's January 12th at the Granite Bay Country Club. Please, 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 you can register and do so. It is sold out. It is sold out. Well, then show up. They won't turn you away. I guarantee this. I guarantee they will not turn you away. Show up. Shelby, he's going to be speaking there. Ryan Lundquist, he's the appraiser that we've spoken about many times in this team meeting. He's always incredible. And of course, a panel of top producers. So that is next Wednesday, January 12th from 10 to 12. Who's going to go to that? Raise your hand if you're going to go to that next week. Woohoo! Good times. Yeah. See you there. And then what else we got? Tech tip. All right. So now we get into the less exciting stuff, but very important. Because we've all been doing business planning and trying to figure out, like everybody's trying to implement new habits, whether it's to get healthy, whether it's to make more money, maybe it's develop close relationships with friends and family members. Maybe just to take time to yourself and maybe back off a little bit, right? So we're all implementing this new habit. So there's this book titled Atomic Habits by James Clear, right? Fantastic book. I read it like every year. And every time I read it, I'm like, why the heck do I not read this more often? So I took 30 seconds, and this is all on Brent Gove's page. You can click this and download it. For those of you who have it in your hands here in class, and for those of you who are online, you can kind of see it. So here's real basic on how to create a good habit. Yeah, so let me stand up and we'll get into this. So can one coin make a person rich? This is, I think, an old Greek parable they talk about in the book. Can one coin make a person rich?
It depends on what you
Yes,
do with the coin.
yes or no? Okay, so I'll make it a little bit easier. Can 2 coins make a person rich?
Yes.
Right? So you start stacking the coins to the point, right? So let's we'll say $1. $1 make a person rich. No. All of a sudden, what if you have $2 to make a person rich? No. Okay, well, at some point you keep adding that dollar. At some point, they're going to tip into the wealthy category or the rich category. Same thing happens with your habits, is that it's not a switch that you're all of a sudden wealthy overnight or fit overnight or successful overnight, but you're stacking those dollars, you're stacking those coins. So the base premise of, and I'm going to give you a brief synopsis on this book. I suggest you still read it. It's a really good book. This is just like the key takeaways for me. You might get something completely different that I'm not talking about. But number one, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your systems, or you fall to the level of your systems. So how many of you have a production goal for next year? Raise your hand. Okay, real quick. This year, good point. Have you broken down that goal and systematized how you're going to create it or how you're going to achieve it, right? Most of us go, okay, you want to sell 12 houses a year. That's 1 house a month. How many contacts do I need to make a week to make that happen? Okay, but you have to systematize that. You have to create a system for that. So if you remember nothing else from this little talk, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. If you're failing to achieve your goals, it's not the goal's fault, it's not your why's fault, it's your system's fault. You need to fix the system. Okay, so tip number 1 is habit stacking. Who here knows what habit stacking is? Okay, Tom Costello knows it. Very kind of. This is something that has told you. I used to be about 40. Well, now I was almost 50 pounds lighter, but now I'm gained a little Christmas weight. So I've lost about 40 pounds from where I was my heaviest. Okay, and this is one of the ways that I did this. Habit stacking is creating a habit that you're already doing. So let's use this. This is kind of gross. Who brushes their teeth? Who brushes their teeth every morning? Okay. All right. Some people didn't raise their hands, so I'm kind of curious. Right? So maybe we're just slow on the uptake, but yeah. All right. Steve's keeping his hand up. All right. So if you brush your teeth, but most dentists will tell you that most people, they may brush their teeth, but they struggle with flossing. And so this is what I did to make sure I floss twice a week. Twice a week. Twice a day. Twice a day. And this is how habit stacking works. So I would always forget to floss after I brush my teeth, rinse the mouth, and go to bed and I forget, right? But I always brush my teeth. So what you want to do is you want to pick a habit that you do consistently and add the new habit before that. So now I floss my teeth first, brush my teeth, and I never forget to floss my teeth. And now this habit's ingrained, right? Over time. So if you want to learn how to floss your teeth consistently, there's a trick. So if you want to learn a new language, pick something you do every single morning and do that language learning activity before that next activity. So if you put your shoes on, we all put our shoes on every day, right? Before you put your shoes on, spend 15 minutes learning a language, right? That's habit stacking. And then all of a sudden, because what the stacking is the floss, is the teeth, right? And then on top of that is the floss. Does that make sense? So that's habit stacking. Clear as mud?
That's good.
Number 2 is temptation bundling. This is why I smoke so many cigars. So temptation bundling is something that you do already that you like doing, and bundling something that you don't like with that. So I like smoking cigars. How many of you like watching TV, right? You can raise your hand, I won't make fun of you. Okay, you like watching television. like pick something that you like doing. Maybe you like eating or drinking coffee in the morning, right? Drinking coffee, there's a habit, right? So for me, if I want to smoke a cigar, I have to be doing like a lead generating activity. So all of a sudden, boom, now I've bundled my temptation not to lead generate with something that I do want to do. That's called temptation bundling. Right? It's pretty fun. And I smoke guilt-free. Somewhat guilt-free. Exactly. Or like if you want to watch TV and you have a Peloton, or that's what those called?
Oh, yeah.
So hop on, you're into that, right? So just hop on the Peloton and only watch TV when you're riding the bike, right? So now all of a sudden this unhealthy habit is turning into something productive.
Or do TikToks.
Or
while
do
you're riding
TikToks.
bikes.
There you go. And now you're lead generating.
Exactly.
So the third tip is make it easy. This is probably where most people fall off the wagon when they're creating new habits. It's because they pick something like they want to increase their production 100% year over year, or they want to lose 50 pounds in the next month, or they want to pick some big goal, right? Rather than doing that, you need to make it easy. And an example of making it easy was, instead of going to the gym for an hour a day, maybe just go to the gym, like just walk in and walk out, right? Or if you want to become a runner, maybe just walk around your block for like a minute, right? And then all of a sudden, once that habit is strong, then you can start stacking minutes on minutes, right? It's that whole coin effect. So if you start small and then you build, you're far more likely to succeed than if you start big. And that's where most people start. And we all know the joke about, a week, maybe 10 days from now, the gyms will be empty again, right? So I don't even bother going to the gym. Like, screw it, I'm not even gonna go. I like swimming, and I don't want to deal with all those people's nasty bodies pissing in the pool. Like, I'll wait till you're done, But anyway, so make it easy. Just do it. Just do a little thing. Just do a little thing and then stack it on top. And then this fourth tip. So who here knows about Duolingo? Right? Super fun, right? So for those of you who do Duolingo, do you have a streak? You have a streak? Okay, so on Duolingo, what they do is they track how often you log into the app and you complete a lesson. And I don't know what my streak is. My streak's insane because of this fourth tip, right? I don't want to break the chain. I don't want, like, who is it? The comedian Seinfeld? Seinfeld, right? He talked about how you have those calendars and each box is a day. He didn't want to break the chain. So he would, every day, he'd write a new joke. His goal was one joke. He kept it easy, and he tracked it. And so every day he would write at least one new joke. And then he would, over the course of time, he'd have this chain, and he did not want to break the chain. So don't break the chain, so I have a phrase, keep streaking. So
But not while smoking cigars.
keep
It
streaking,
might-
yeah.
We're learning a lot about you, John.
I know you're learning a lot. So keep streaking. If that's something that sticks in your head, don't break the chain. Don't break your streak. My streak on Duolingo is 1,800 days. That's years, right? And that I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that streak isn't broken, because it's gonna take me years to get back to that again, right? So always use and don't try to track everything. Don't try to track, like, if you want to lose weight, what worked for me was tracking calories, right? I didn't want to have to eat something if I hadn't tracked anything, and two, I could keep track of it. But don't track everything in your life. Like, pick 2 or 3 goals that you're really passionate about and that's really important to you, and just track those. If you try to track everything, you'll track nothing, right? Keep it easy. Goes back to law number 3. And here's the thing: is that as life goes on, we're all human beings. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. We all fall off the wagon. Don't miss twice. Make it if you do miss it, don't miss twice. And if you don't want to do it ugly. So those 2 things, right? Do it ugly means if you want to go to the gym, but you don't have the time to do 15 or an hour, or you don't want to run really hard, just freaking walk on the treadmill. Just do it ugly, right? If you don't want to pick up and do dials for the next hour, or you don't have a perfect script, who cares? Just pick up the phone, make one call, and do it ugly, and then do it ugly again, and do it ugly again. Eventually, ugly turns pretty, right?
When we have
I don't
kids.
know about that.
But you get, yeah.
We just get comfortable with the ugly.
Or you get comfortable with the ugly, right?
Yeah.
So here's a different way to think about decisions that you make. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Okay, so if you are choosing to watch television versus maybe provide for your family, you're now choosing to become somebody who watches television rather than be a provider. So keep that in mind. Every decision you make, everything you put in your mouth, every interaction you have with other people, every decision you make is a choice, it's a vote for who you want to become. So just be conscious of what you're doing there. So here, this is where we get in the more interactive part, top producer habits. Good habit, start work early. The top producers I know, they start work early. Some start, 9, 8, 7 o'clock in the morning. I know one guy shows up at 6 in the morning, 6 days a week at the office. So good habit to start early. So where do you start on that habit? Go to bed early. That's where you start. You can't wake up early if you don't go to bed early. Dang it. Another thing,
That's my worst.
daily lead generation. So where do you start? Where is it easy, consistent, and trackable? Make one call a day. Just do one call. One call. Stay connected with your database. Where to start? If you don't have a database, well, you need to create a database. So just pull everybody out of your phone. That's it. Just do that. And pull everybody out of your Gmail on the next week. That's it, right? And just create this database. If you do have a database, figure out how you're going to start connecting with them on a regular basis. That's easy. This last one I think is really, really important. A girl on our team. So we've spoken about Google My Business in the past, right? Like you've heard me say, you've heard the top coaches in the country talk about you need to Google My Business. It's free. And you need to have reviews on your Google My Business page. So who in here has a Google My Business page, right? So most of the room, the numbers increased since we last spoke about it. This has happened to Valerie and it's happened to another person on our team. Because they have their clients and they get character references put on Google, I got a message that said, hey, I'm getting pre-approved for a house. I want to buy a house with you on Google, unsolicited, did nothing, this inbound lead, okay? I call her up. It's like Christmas Eve or something like that. I don't even know which agents were going to be available. Called her up and I said, hey, just want to reach out. It's now a good time to talk, or is later. Just want to help you get your home buying journey on track, whatever. And she's like, actually, thanks for calling, but I really wanted to work with Haley. I was like, Haley? She's like, yeah, I saw her reviews on Google. I really want to work with her. I said, by all means, work with Haley. Haley's on our team, right? And so I instantly transferred it over to Haley, got her connected with Haley, and now Haley's working with this person who's going to be a client of hers, right? So get 5-star reviews. That's my. So when I put it on here, this isn't just a Giphy type thing where it may or may not make you money. This will make you money if you do it. So ask for 5-star reviews. Oftentimes people are scared about asking their clients because they're worried that they'll get something less than a 5-star review. Well, ask your friends, ask your family members, ask people that you're confident about. That's where you start, so that way you have that mental buffer. So what happens if you get a 1-star or a 3-star? Well, then all of a sudden your rating doesn't crash. But get character references from family members. So Valerie and I recently hired a nanny, and what was really important to us was reading their character references, right? These weren't past clients, but these were also people that had worked with her in the past. And so when you're going out and getting those 5-star reviews, it doesn't always have to be someone you've sold a house with. It could be maybe somebody that you gave home selling advice to in another state. Or maybe you helped a family member out and gave them advice on. So just make sure you're not lying on the reviews. Hey, Johnny helped me sell a house. And I was like, dude, I never helped you sell a house. Don't do that. But like, hey, John's a wealth of knowledge. Or Roberto is always fast to respond. Or Alina always took care of any questions I ever had about my home buying goals. Or, you get the point. So get those 5-star reviews and start with family members. So there's 4 that we can work on, that everybody should work on. What I need is 2 more. 2 more reviews, or 2 more habits of top producers.
Exercise daily.
Exercise daily,
Tell me
yeah.
who you are, you gotta
That's
see
true.
I'm gonna do this job, right?
Okay, so exercise daily. So where's the easy start on that? Where would we start on that?
I would suggest what you eat.
That is actually a really
Food
good
is
point.
everything.
That is a really good point.
Do something ridiculously simple like 1 push-up a day and then add to it.
Boom.
Every day.
Yeah.
Then the next day do 2 push-ups.
I got up to 300 push-ups at one point using that trick. I was out in the oil fields. I was bored out of my mind. I was like, I'll do 1 push-up today. And I, years later, yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody listen to the Zoom call yesterday with Bill Sykes? A local agent that's, I think in the Sacramento area, that's with EXP, Germal, I believe, so I said Germal and Julie. He had mentioned that he was doing the 1800 challenge. I'm like, what the heck is that? That sounds way worse than 75. Like, I'm thinking, what is this? It is the stupidest, easy, in my opinion, because I've done the 75 bar, but that kicks your foot. But like, if you want something that's more like bite-sized chunks, that I just think it ties in with what you're seeing, and I'll send you the thing, or we can put it on Brent's TV.
Yeah, let's do that.
But there's like a tracker, and literally it's like, do 10 minutes of exercise. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
like stupid easy. You can sit down on my Peloton while watching, 10 minutes of motivation, 10 minutes of affirmations, like what they were asking of you. And then you just start, like he said, adding to it as you get past that. And it's 1800 because in 66 days, when you do these things after 66 days, and there's a little tracker that you can check. But it's like stupid easy, and find someone to be accountable to.
Yep. That's
He
the
was
other
already
thing
yelling at
too.
me this morning.
That's the other thing too. A lot of people struggle with that, the accountability piece, but that is big, right? That's what we do on the team. We have weekly check-in calls of where are your goals. Like, you look at the top producers, they're being held accountable by somebody as well. So,
There's this new accountability app that I just found that's really cool. It's the same kind of thing as don't break the chain, you check into it and it keeps you on track. It's the one thing we all need, but none of us want.
100%, Alicia.
I got another habit.
Thank you. What's the other habit?
Investing.
Oh,
You start with $1.
that is yeah, that is solid. All right, so investing.
So I did a TikTok on this yesterday. $100 a month, just $100 a month in 18 years is 60 grand, but in 65 years, it's $6 million. So if you save $100 a month, after 65 years, it's $6 million. You might not need $6 million, but you're probably starting this life as well.
That's crazy. That's the power of compound interest, and that's the power of compounded habits as well.
$100, just $100.
That's crazy. So this brings up a good point too, and this is the last thing, we'll get off the habit thing, but it is tax season. It's rolling into it. It is tax season. If you don't think it is, you're behind the ball. So this year, if you screwed up last year, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of your mistakes last year. But don't make the same mistake this year, and start taking a portion of your check every year, put it into a separate account, or pay them quarterly, depending on what situation you're in, because you do not want to owe Uncle Sam.
You remind me of something so important. If you guys are not reaching out to your self-employed clients, you're making a mistake, because this very second is their opportunity to file a stronger 2021 return. So that if taxes were the reason they didn't buy last year, they can fix it right this second by filing a strong 2021, and now they can buy in the beginning of it. Now, just so you guys know, we can fund. We drive that little tax return down to Watt Avenue. They walk in the front door and have them stamp it. We can fund on that. And so they're allowed to file, I think, 20th of January. So anyone who's self-employed can technically get into contract in January and still fund within the 30 days. I just make them drive that return down to Watt Avenue and get it stamped. And then I can fund on a stamped return. So you can get them into contract before the return is filed. You just need a draft. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There you go. There's a way to make money off taxes. All right. So let's go on to the next piece of paper that you have. Here, let me bring it up for those of you who are online. And if you're online and you have anything you want to chime in, just don't put it in the chat box, because I will not see it. Oh, Mariah said keep it in a notepad. Yep, write down your goals daily. And Claudia says she stretches and does yoga while watching television. There you go. Bundling, habit stacking. So Brent, I can't remember if it was the last meeting or the meeting before the last. He's like, I feel sorry for you if you have not read The Greatest Salesperson in the World, right? Or Salesman in the World, sorry.
That was like end of November.
End of November, man, time flies. So he said it a while ago. So what our team did was we made it a goal to read that book in December. Has anybody not, raise your hand if you've read the book. Go ahead if you've read the book, right? So most of us have read it. Classic book. It is really good. Yeah?
Yeah.
So here are the premise of the book is there's this dude, super wealthy. How do you get wealthy? He followed these 10 scrolls. Okay. I'm not spoiling a whole lot for you. I suggest you read the book. It's very impactful. But each scroll has a purpose. So go ahead and for those of you who haven't read the book, take a look at this. For those of you who have read the book, can you please tell me which one is what's one of your favorite scrolls and why?
I just like the I will persist until I succeed. Just because it just keeps me going every day.
That's good. So I will persist. So there's something that we talked about that I think is very, be honest. Well, you get it. That's why I scribbled so you can't tell me if I'm spelling it wrong. I will persist. So there's a difference between persistence and existence, right? Persisting means you're pushing. It means you're working hard towards a goal. It means you're tracking your success. It means you're doing the things. Existing means you're just hoping that it's going to work out for you. So you're not lead generating. You're hoping you're going to get a deal. You're hoping, you're not putting out a ton of signs at your open house. You're hoping somebody will come by. You are sitting, you have savings. You can last a long time. You can last, let's say you can last 3 months before your savings run out on your savings account, before you really need a deal, before you can no longer pay for your rent, no longer pay for food, no longer provide for your needs, and you're hoping that money's going to last you long enough, but you're not doing anything about it. So when you read the I will persist, this is action. So take a hard look, do a self-audit. Are you persisting or are you existing? Okay, I can't answer that question for you, only you can answer that, but just be very conscious. Are you persisting or are you existing? Who else has a favorite scroll?
I will act now, I will act now, I will act now.
There you go. Yep, that sums it up. Why?
Huh?
Why is it your favorite?
Rather than thinking about it, we can beat ourselves up thinking about it and knowing, not doing what we know we need to be doing. And the fear sets in, and fear and action cannot coexist.
That's
and so
very
you
true.
put yourself into action, you'll see the fear drop. And it's just, those little slight edge steps. In fact, if I could recommend a book,
yeah,
by Jeff Olson, it's called Slight Edge. And it's exactly along the lines we're talking about.
Slight edge.
Those daily delivered actions over a period of time develop a compounding effect.
Exactly. Yeah, nothing to add to that.
Yeah. Well, then really my most favorite is I will pray for guidance.
Amen.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
That's solid. All right, one more.
Clark, was that Slight Edge?
Slight Edge. Yeah, by Jeff Olson. I mean, you can get an audio book. It's a pretty well-known book. And it goes right into, I don't know if you're familiar with Darren Hardy, but Compound Effect.
That's the great book.
Yeah,
Great
and one of his other books that's extremely good is The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster.
That's Darren Hardy.
Yeah, that's Darren Hardy.
J-Ro, can you put Slide Edge on the notes for the recap? So we'll get, if you're a member of the Brent Gove team page, there'll be a recap of every week's team meeting on there. So if you forget something, we'll try to capture all the links and the book suggestions and things like that. If you're not, reach out to Rob and see if you can get added to it, because I can't do it. All right, one more. Let's do one more scroll. What's online? Unmute yourself if you have a favorite scroll. What's a scroll? Tom? Here, I'll flip it.
I'm trying to remember if this is actually a scroll, but
It's right in front of you, bro.
oh, okay. Well, I finished. It was. I will master my emotions.
Okay,
Today I will be a master of my emotions.
Which one's that? Yeah,
It's
right
halfway
there.
down.
You're right.
It's right in front of you, bro.
They will be a mastermind. And why is that?
Because we're such emotional beings, and we all like to think we're not. We all like to think we do what we need to do all the time, but the truth is we are so controlled by emotions. And the biggest emotion in our business is fear of rejection, fear of whatever thing, fear that's not going to go right. It's what keeps us from doing what we know we need to do. And mastering your emotions is doing what you need to do long after the feeling that you made that decision to do it is gone. You don't feel like lead generating every day. You don't feel like reaching out and doing agent attraction every day. You don't feel like following up, or you don't feel like doing most of the things that we need to do. But that's where success is found. And if you look at top producer habits, it's the top producers are the one who've mastered their emotions, who've gotten themselves to do what they need to do. Tony Robbins calls it take massive action. You don't always feel like taking massive action, but when you do it, you can't hide it. Like if I have to convince you that I work out, there's a problem. If I have to convince you that I do lead generation every day, then there's a problem, because it'll show up in my production.
It does.
It shows up in your life.
So master those emotions and everything else.
Yep.
Tends to fall into place. All right. So real quick, we're going to do this for Brent and you, but really for Brent. This is recorded. These are all recorded. So if I said anything embarrassing, hopefully that gets edited out. But let's all take a second. And if you have this, pick it up and take a look at it. If you're online and you can see it in front of you, go ahead and unmute yourself. And so let's all read it through. Well, actually, don't mute. Don't, because there's a delay. Stay muted, please. That'll get weird. That'll get weird. Yeah. So let's all read it together. But feel free online to read it out loud and along with that. So let's start out, and we'll just read it through once, and then that's it. That's the end of the meeting. We'll give you about 15 minutes to network, talk to lenders, talk to vendors, and get on down the road. All right. So let's kick it off with so on 3, on 1. 3, 2, 1. Today I begin a new life. I will greet this day with love in my heart. I will persist until I succeed. I am nature's greatest miracle. I will live this day as if it was my last. Today I will be master of my emotions. I will laugh at the world. Today I will multiply my God. I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. I will pray for guidance. Amen. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out today. See you next week. Thank you, everybody, for showing up online. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.